It was never a waste. So, let me get myself situated. Cause I ain't be one showing. I wanted to turn the camera off and do this, but I felt the need to turn the camera on and do this. I don't know. I'm getting used to seeing myself on camera too, so whatever. Anyway, I digress. I mean, I've been on camera before, so I don't know. Um, it was never a waste. And so I want to talk about that because um sometimes you might feel like you might be stuck or stagnant, or you might feel uh, regret or frustrated because of a decision or choice you chose to make, or you might feel stupid or embarrassed or just not proud of yourself because you made a decision or choice and the situation didn't go the way you wanted it to go, or whatever the case may be. So it's a couple things that's buried in there, right? um it's the control of, or like wanting to be in control of the situation and the outcome of the situation. And then it's also understanding the purpose in the situation or circumstances, whatever the case may be. And so first and foremost, let me just pray and make sure, Lord Heavenly Father, I come to you as humbly as I know how, as for the Holy Spirit to intervene for me in prayer so I can say this message. Please give me the words that they flow freely and fluently without any distraction or distortion. In the name of Jesus, I'm going to pray. Amen. Um, okay. Lord, please let me get this message out clearly too, because I know that when I get information or when I channel or when I'm downloading information or whatever the case may be, or I'm receiving a message, sometimes the message comes so fast that I begin to ramble and I'm like just blah 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 blah. So I would like to be able to take my time as I express this message um to you, whomever is listening to or watching this video. And so the message that I have is it was never a waste. Okay. So I was watching, I'm gonna give a little bit of background synopsis. I was watching another video. I watch a couple of different old people on YouTube and I actually really enjoy their channels. And for me, watching tarot and different spiritual people give information or whatever, it's like watching the soap operas of the spiritual world for me. And so I be tripping off of some of the stuff I be hearing because it's like, okay, I felt that. I felt that too. Okay, that resonates. Well, that makes sense. I just don't personally read on the things that they're talking about. So for me to go and sit and listen is me just getting confirmation of what I've already kind of picked up on. You know what I mean? I only watch things that I'm drawn to. If I'm not drawn to it, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I have specific people that I continuously watch, and then I have just random people that, oh, that message look like, oh, okay, let me pick that up on that, because that video is vibrating at the frequency of where I need a little bit of clarity, or I'm just curious about that situation or scenario, whatever it could be. So I'll watch it. And so I'm learning to really discern in regards to what I'm putting my energy into, or what I'm allowing myself to be attached or drawn to in regards to the spiritual world and just myself and my energy, period. Because I'm working on being extremely intentional throughout the whole process of my life, right? And um, I was watching something, and she had said, um, in the midst of, she was talking about something else, but she had said, you probably feel like it was a waste, or like, you're upset or you're mad at yourself for making a decision, a choice to do the things that you did, or to make the decisions that you made, or be around the people that you chose to be around, or stay in a relationship that you didn't want to be in, or, be friends with somebody you didn't want to be friends with, or just being like the yes man or whatever the case may be. And so like when you start to grow, evolve, and change, and you begin to understand how people operate, or just understand your feeling, you just, lately we've been going through a massive shift. So you might be just going through the feeling of just feeling like, well, I don't really want to be around the same energy anymore. I just kind of want to isolate. I just kind of want to be to myself. You're taking the opportunity and you're taking the time to make intentional time for yourself. And so when you do that, sometimes if you are wise and you have the ability or the capability to sit with yourself and sit with your feelings or sit with your emotions or sit with your thoughts or sit with whatever is going on the inside of you and not push it away, but yet fully embrace it and understand it for what it is, that is where you begin to transmute the energy. It's recognizing or recalling everything that happened, how you were feeling about the situation. Like if somebody pissed you off, you go back and you relive that whole conversation in your head, and you allow yourself to feel whatever you were feeling at the time that you were having that disagreement or that bout or that or whatever that scenario was, right? And so when you're transmitting the energy, you are in essence going back and rehashing or reliving or opening up that can of quote unquote, as people say, can of worms. And so healing comes from seeking the truth in that situation. The truth is your truth, which you actually experience. However, it's also I'm not gonna say it's also it is also oh okay, hold on. Let me get it together. Yes, I be bugging sometimes. So um it is also your ability to be able to look at the situation from full spectrum, from the opposite side, or just from the outside looking in, a reflective state of mind or standpoint, where you're going back and you're looking at yourself and the person that was involved in the situation scenario and how it played out and what was good about the situation or what wasn't good about the situation or what was beneficial to you or the other person involved in the situation or whatever the case may be. What lesson was learned or what experience or emotion was experienced at the time, right? And when you go to the point of understanding the lesson that was learned and not so much focusing on the emotional piece where you're like, yeah, your feelings were hurt. Like nobody's saying disregard your feelings or anything like that, because you know your feelings are important. Your feelings are a vibrational frequency of letting you know that your soul, your spirit, your energy on the inside is off kilter, is offset. And so excuse me. Where the hell did that come from? Okay, that was random. Sorry, but I digress. Let's get back into it. Um, I just all of a sudden felt like something was trying to like come up in my throat. Where was I at? So you feel these feelings and these emotions, this energy, and then it's the key is to sit with those feelings, to sit with those emotions, to sit with those thoughts that you had, to sit with whatever was going on at that time, right? And this is present day. So like you may have experienced something a long time ago and you didn't realize you were still holding on to it. Or you may have aches and ailments in your body and you don't know where that feeling that tension or whatever it is in you that you hold in your body is coming from. Why am I feeling this pain? What comes to mind when you think about that pain and wherever that pain is coming from and what stemmed or what was the stem or the seed? Ooh, that's deep. The seed that was planted at the time that occurrence occurred, basically, right? And so when you are able to go back to that point in time in that moment and look at it and say to yourself, oh, you know what? This situation played out, this situation played out the way it did. I didn't like how it played out. This is how it made me feel when it played out this way. Going forward, when I am faced with this situation again, I'm going to approach it in this way. And when you say this way, be intentional about the way that you're actually going to approach that situation or that scenario should it arise again. And then what's going to happen is you're gonna experience that shit again. The universe is going to swing it back like a boomerang. Like when you throw a boomerang out, it comes back. When you make that affirmation, when you speak life into that change or that shift or that adjustment that you want to make, you send out a vibration frequency or signal out into the universe, and the universe sends it back to test you to see if you really want to make that change, see how you're really going to react and respond when you are faced with that same feeling or emotion, you know what I'm saying, or that same scenario or that same, problem or whatever the case may be, right? And so I started the message by saying it was never a waste, because everything that happens to you is intentionally happening to you. You were, before you were born, you created a soul contract. As you were being formed in your mother's womb, you agreed to carry generational curses or break generational curses. You agreed to want to learn specific lessons, be it physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. You agreed to complete certain missions. You agreed to help certain people in their journeys or in their lives. You agreed to allow yourself to go do certain things so that you could experience what it felt like, so that you could learn from it, so that you can grow, so that you can elevate your actual soul, and not just your soul, but that of your family. Now, some people are not always necessarily generational curse breakers. They don't necessarily choose that journey. You know what I'm saying? Some people choose journeys of twin flame where they want to learn about love and they want to learn to see themselves through another person's eyes and understand who they are. You know what I'm saying? They mirrored souls. Mirrored souls. I'm loving this. Thank you, God. Mirrored souls are individuals who see the world through other people's eyes. So they don't necessarily see themselves unless they go and actually look in a mirror and like really look in a physical mirror and, see themselves, or they do the time to make the steps or take the time to do inward reflection where they go inside. You know what I'm saying? Where they spiritually allow themselves to go inside. That's like meditation and what's another one? Is meditation and transcendentalism or whatever the case may be, where you tap into your spiritual self or spiritual essence of yourself, and you choose to look at yourself, see yourself through your own eyes, meaning closing your eyes and just going inside and just exploring and delving into the different parts of your physical anatomy on the internal side with the internal light that you are blessed with. It is scientifically proven that human beings glow. Now, with that being said, when you go inward, you're going inside to assess the light that you possess or you carry, the soul energy, the soul force life energy that you carry. Now, in order for you to make that light bright, right, you have to vibrate at high vibrational frequencies. And that means you have to have positive self image, positive thoughts, positive, initiatives, and exercising gratitude and do the hard work, meaning really challenge yourself to change, reparent yourself, take away, the things that no longer serve you, be it people, places, or things, food, don't you name it. The vices, the whole nine. 'Cause my vice is I smoke from time to time, like, and I smoke black in my house. I have a problem. I smoke black in my house, and so I know for me that when I resort to doing things like that, it's because I am stressed and I'm seeking a outlet to relieve that stress, or I'm just indulging because this is how I relax. You know what I'm saying? And that is not a way that I would like to continue to relax, because I know it's not beneficial to my personal health, especially in regards to your lungs. You know what I'm saying? You're inhaling a carcinogen. You're inhaling burning flames, basically, toxins into your body. You know what I'm saying? So if your body is a temple, and think about that, a temple, when you go into a temple, you don't desecrate a temple, you don't tarnish a temple, you don't go in a temple and be and fornicate in the temple. You don't do crazy stuff in a temple. And if your body's a temple, then you treat your body as such, as a temple, meaning you take care of it, you love it, you adore it, you appreciate it, you respect it. And that's everything connected to your body, meaning your brain, your heart, your liver, your soul, your kidneys, whatever, everything that is pertaining to your um, physical or energetic being, anything that is connected to you, right? And so if I'm loving on myself and I'm loving my heart, my mind, my soul, my body, my energy, my everything, if I'm loving on myself, that means I'm also loving on my brain. I'm loving on my thoughts. I'm loving on my feelings. I'm loving on my emotions. I'm loving on my energy. I'm loving on my creativity. I'm loving on my expression of self. I'm loving on my speech. I'm loving on the things that I choose to hear, the things I choose to, release and let go of. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it, because when you release and let go, that's a great, we grieve every day. That's a part of the grief process, releasing and letting go. And when you release and let go of things, right? Releasing and letting go is not always easy, because it's like, if I let it go, what's going to happen? It's like, you're releasing or making space or expanding to make space for new things to come into your life. Now, not everybody is able to do that. Not everybody can release things or let things go so easily, or accept things for what they are or how they are, because, when you in it, you in it. And when you are experiencing something that's heavy, or something that's deep, or something that's really, toxic or hurtful, or something that really just pierces the core of you in such a way where it it alters how you function, how you flow, how you vibe, and just the people that you're around. Like, it's just something that turns you off so much so that you just got to make a change. You know what I'm saying? When you're triggered, when you're triggered, that is you adjusting, you're shifting, right? Like, if somebody piss you off, you're gonna move away from them because they piss you off. Or you're gonna blow up, explode, and right, beat them up or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? It's gonna be so many different ways that you react and respond. The thing is, getting to know and understand yourself and getting to understand and know what are your triggers. What are the things that set you off? Because the triggers and the things that set you off are key. They are not a waste. Nothing is a waste, right? Even the people that you come into contact with that piss you off, that hurt you, that scar you deep, that disrespect you, that degrade you, that demean you, that that lift you up. You know what I'm saying? That praise you, that honor you, respect you. Everybody that comes into your life or comes into your connection with you was preordained and destined to come into your connection. They were put there for a reason, right? As people, places, and things. It's cycles, though, right? Because in life, you go through cycles as well. You go through experiences when you're in your childhood, traumas and things that happen to you when you were a kid. You go through it in your youth, in your young adulthood, when you were a preteen and a teenager, and then you become a young adult. You know what I'm saying? You go through it in your 20s. You go through it. You're constantly going through cycles. Even when I told somebody else this, maybe I don't know, a year or whatever ago, I was talking to them. We was talking about how every year you go on your birthday, and I even said this in one of my videos. When you experience your birthday, you're going through a cycle. You're cycling through that year, right? You reflect through that year. Like I believe I said it in the previous video too, that every 6 months or so, I go through that process where I'm recycling. I'm looking back, like, hold up, let me look through my Rolodex. Let me run my tape back. Let me see what I can learn from, because I'm a very reflective person. I like to go back and look at myself and see where I need to make the adjustments and changes. However, what you also have to learn is that you can't always keep looking back. Sometimes you also have to, not even sometimes, you always have to look forward. You always have to pay attention to what's in your forefront and what's in front of you so that you can, see what's coming. You know what I mean? So it's okay to be reflective and go both ways. However, you also have to know that when you're looking reflective and looking back, you're not looking back because you want to go back there or you want to stay back there in the past. A lot of us are stuck in the past. You got to let that shit go. Let it go. Like, let that shit go. Like 1616 when I said that. Let that shit go. Like, for real. Like, it's nothing you can do to go back and physically change that situation. However, you can change how you react and respond to it. Like the weight that the weight that or the tether that it is holding on you, over you, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. That's cute. Psychologically. Because psychologically is like your psyche. I don't know how to describe it. It's like your ego. You know what I'm saying? It's like the essence of who you are. You know what I mean? You don't be stuck as an old version of yourself operating in a new world. You know what I'm saying? Or operating in a new perspective, or wanting to operate in a new perspective, or operating in a new cycle. Or, when you close a chapter to a book, you go to the next chapter. That chapter gone. I'm not reading the book backwards. I'm reading full. But I don't even know why that was funny. Bro, I'm sorry. I don't even know why that was funny to me, but that was hilarious to me. But real talk, no, I'm not reading a book backwards though. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm moving forward, as should you. And so, what I'm also learning is you have to give yourself permission to do it, because sometimes you have people that come into your life and they send you evil out, they curse you, they hex you, they cast spells on you. And I'm saying these things in this sense because people be like, what does that mean? You curse somebody by just opening your mouth against them. That is in the Bible. When you open your mouth against someone in a negative sense, or just against that person, and it not, especially if it's not the truth about them, and you're just operating your opinion, or just in your ego and your emotion, how you feel about the person, because you really just don't care for the person about it. Because me, when you open your mouth against a person, you're sending curses and spells and hexes towards them, right? When you're envious of a person, you're sending them the evil eye, right? I'm envious of you. Therefore, I'm sending you this energy because I'm envious. I want what you have. And see, what people don't realize is, like, everything is a give and take. Energy is a give and take. Energy itself is a give and take. Life is neither created, and life is neither created nor destroyed, which is true. That's fact. Come on, Jesus. Okay, Spirit, I love it. I love it. Okay, so, but that's true. Life is neither give nor take. You know what I'm saying? It's both. It is give and take. You know what I'm saying? It's not an ending. There's never an end. We just keep going. Even when you die, you don't die. You keep going. You know what I'm saying? You just transition to a different space, different phase. And then it's great too, because you also agree to how you're going to transition from this earth in your soul contract. Some of us know about it, some of us don't. However, some of us know about it when it gets to come close. We feel it. It's a feeling. It is a internal feeling that you get when you know that is your end. When you know that is your demise. You feel that shit. You already know. Spirit, what lets you know? Hey, you about to kick the bucket. It is a feeling. and it's daunting sometimes at first, and it's weird. How do I even know this? But I know this. It's daunting because it's like, oh my god, I'm really about to go. I'm really about to leave. I'm really about to transition. And then you get this feeling of fear because it's like, oh wait, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. I don't want to transition. I don't want to go to the next space realm. Or I'm scared. What's gonna happen? How is it gonna happen? Am I gonna hurt? Is it gonna be pain? Like you know what I'm saying? You start anticipating it, and like, going through the motions for what the fuck, because you already know. Just accept it. The sooner you accept it, the sooner it comes, the sooner you're able to progress and move past it. We go through life and death all day, every day, every day. Every time we close our eyes and go to sleep, we're ending that day. We're going to death. We are dying to the physical realm, the carnal realm, the 3D realm, and we are entering into a spiritual place. We're entering into the dreamscape. We're entering into a dream realm, right? You're entering into a different aspect or part of you. And those of you that are tapped into it, you're able to lucidly dream, and you're able to control your dreams and actually, remember or recall your dreams. And sometimes you have messages or ancestors or spirit guides or angels or just images that come to you in your dream or in your subconscious that come to you to teach you about something that you're not paying attention to in the waking world. Right? And so I'm learning these things, and I've learned these things. I've known these things since I was like 9 years old. I know for a fact that I've been under spiritual warfare and attack majority of my whole fucking life. Right? And I had to understand and know, like, what is this? Why is this? Why is this happening? What is it? And I was always a curious type of kid. I just want to know why. I always want, why? Why are you like this? Why is it? Oh shit! I'm sorry. Cause I like when I say I be tripping, like I don't know why. When I ask that question, I just instantly thought of my kids and the stuff that they just happening. It's just like when people just be doing weird stuff around me. It's like, why you like this? Like, or like when people say certain stuff, it just be hilarious to me. I just be like, why are you like this? Like, why? Like, it just. And then like I have a morbid sense of humor, so like some stuff like I laugh at certain things that you shouldn't laugh at too, and so. That is not supposed to be funny. I'm not even going to say it on this camera because Lord forgive me. I'm sorry, because that's not supposed to be funny. Because I don't wish that on anybody or any living creature or being. It was a thought that I had earlier today that was not supposed to be funny at all because I was assessing my animal, and I don't think he's doing too well because he's losing a lot of weight, and he's been scratching, and my son and I had gave him a bath and everything, and I was going to go get the stuff to put on his coat to protect his coat from, like, insects and bugs and things of that nature, whatever case it be. And I was rubbing him today, and I noticed, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so small. Like, what is going on? Like, he had all this extra skin, and I'm like, you're normally bigger than this. Why are you so frail looking? Like, what is going on? Like, is it your food? Are you not eating enough? What's the matter? And I'm like, oh wait, I don't exercise him as often as I used to, because I used to get up early in the morning and walk my dog, and now bro, I just don't be walking the dog at night, and then it's cold. Shorty, and the weather is breaking. It is cold outside, and so I'm like, okay, that's neglectful, and so I'm like working on myself and everything. So I'm like, yo, just because I don't feel like doing it doesn't mean it shouldn't get done, right? However, at the same time, I'm also looking at his size, and I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable taking you outside like that. You don't look like you could withstand the cold. Like, it's cold outside. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm used to him being like like a thicker dog. I'm not gonna disclose what type of dog I have, right? Yeah, I'm just used to him being bigger, and so again, everything that happens is not a waste, and it's crazy because I also know that this animal, my dog, um, he has. Do I want to say that on here? He has an entity or a spirit attached to him, or something that is attached to him that looks through him, almost like he's being used as like a what's that shit called? What is it called when you look through another person's eyes, or you have the ability to look through somebody else's eyes, or look through a creature's eyes? I can't. I don't know why I'm thinking of Game of Thrones. That just came to my mind, where the boy could like close his eyes and he could control the animals, or he could control people. Like, I feel like my like animals have that ability to allow people to do that to them. And so I feel like sometimes that's what's happening with him, that, somebody or something is looking through his eyes at me. And it's like I look at them and I see them and I'm just like, it's okay. I'm sorry that you're going through whatever, whatever. Like, 'cause I really do care about my animals. I have a lot of them. But I do care about them. And I really want to take better care of them. I just am not necessarily always in the space to do so. And so, I'm at that point where I may have to give them up. I don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see. I'm not going to speak into the atmospheric 100% for sure, because I really would like to keep my animals. I love my babies. I just need them to be a little bit more groomed and well mannered, because they just be doing the most. My animals be like, wait. The personalities on animals is crazy. And I know I just started rambling about random stuff, but I promise you, everything I'm talking about, it all makes sense, right? Because even down to my animal and him going through an experience what he's experiencing, and him, just, being in the energy that he's in, you know what I'm saying? I still empathize and I feel that everything that is occurring around you is a reaction to something that is an outward action or outward force. And that's like physics, or talk about inertia and things of that nature. Like, for every action, there is a reaction. And so sometimes those reactions can be physical, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally inclined notions, or vibratic. I don't know if that's even a word, but that sounds vibratic. I don't know. Vibrate vibrate just energy, you get what I'm saying? And when you begin to understand vibrational frequency, you begin to understand and realize you are what you attract. So everything that happens to you, that comes to you, as I said, is not a waste, right? It's teaching you or showing you something about you, or about that person, or about that situation or scenario that you are supposed to learn from, you are supposed to grow from, you are supposed to change, or you are supposed to pay attention to, or you are supposed to, show up. Like in my last video, I said, so you're going to be the villain in somebody's story. So just go ahead and accept that too. And key, another thing that's key, because I said this, I believe, in the beginning of the video, acceptance is key. Accepting your destiny, accepting your fate, and claiming it as your own is also imperative and important, because when you're being intentional about your actions and your behavior, that is when you begin to be able to kind of transmute the energy, right? You begin to, or you're able, or you have the ability to be able to vibrate at a higher vibrational frequency, right? So being positive, being optimistic, being hopeful, going back and looking at those scenarios and situations, and telling yourself, or allowing yourself to see yourself in a better light, or allowing yourself to see where you could have done better, or said something better, or behaved better at that point in time, and forgiving yourself for being that version of you at the time that you were being that version of you, because at that time that's what you knew to do. You knew to the capacity in which you knew you were in that space, in that moment, in that energy. And so when you begin to call your power back to yourself, and you begin to pull yourself back together, and you begin to say, look, hold up, wait a minute. I am the light. I am the way, the truth, and the light. I am the star. I am the energy. I am, these things that you really want to be, that you desire, that because I told you all before in the previous video that I had a bit of imposter syndrome, not believing that it was my like, this is what I was deserving. People tell me all the time, oh, you're such a beautiful person, you're beautiful spirit, beautiful energy, you're positive, this and that. And then I also have people around me that are just like, you think you all that? I have a lot of people around me that just, they do not want to see me evolve. They don't want to see me grow. They don't want to see me be better than what I've ever been. And the thing is, like, do I want to give them that power? Do I want to pay attention to that? Do I want to pour energy into that? I want to be intentional. I want to take what they're showing me about themselves and what they're showing me about me, and I want to use that for my good. I want to use that for the betterment of myself. I want to pour that energy into myself in a positive way. I want to take it as, okay, with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people insult you, or say things to you, and it might hurt your feelings. And okay, and what I'm learning is, if your feelings hurt, then baby, it was some truth about something they said. Because the truth hurts. I've learned that. The truth hurts. When somebody tell you the truth about yourself and you feel some kind of way, oh baby, the truth hurt. That means they struck a nerve, baby. They said something true about you that you didn't reveal to somebody, or you didn't reveal, or you didn't want to be shown, or whatever the case may be. They saw beyond your mess. They saw beyond your veil. And that was necessary to trigger you so that you could change. And another thing, I'm gonna end because I don't like, because I know I get to rambling sometimes, and my messages be long. Another thing though is forgiveness of the person that was involved in the situation, the scenario, story. Forget them. They was playing their part too. You know what I'm saying? They was living. They was doing what they were preordained or ordained to do. Even though you have free will and you can choose and decide, say, okay, you know what, I want to look at it this way from this perspective. I can look at it from a negative perspective. I can look at it from a positive perspective. I can look at it from a hopeful perspective. I can look at it from an optimistic perspective. However you're choosing to look at that situation, that's on you. That's not on nobody else. How you choose to show up is on you. So when you start to understand how you choose to show up is on you, that's where you begin to understand and know your willpower, what you want to, how you want to present yourself. Are you really presenting yourself how you really want to present yourself? Nothing is a waste. Even when you make the decision to be with I was getting ready to say something. Let me not. But even when you make a decision to be in a situation or scenario or like with a person that's toxic, because it was a choice. You made that choice. Making that choice is your free will. You always have an out. God always gives you an out. He just wants to see what are you paying attention to? What are you focusing on, right? And the key is to understand and know that, what I just feel like something is telling me to stop. Something is telling me to stop. I just got this weird feeling. And something is telling me to stop, to not say anymore. I don't know if that is hmm. Hmm. Um, I think I'm gonna end it. I think I'm gonna end this message. But no, for real. Know how you are and your intention and how you show up, and recognize and know that there is no such thing as a waste. Everything that happens to you for a reason. It was predestined and ordained for it to happen to you the way it happened to you. It's all a matter how you choose to learn and grow, evolve, and change from it, right? How you choose to perceive it. So maybe it's time to change your perspective and how you are looking at things and how you're looking at people and how you're looking at yourself. Mhm. And there's one more thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it. Don't ever make assumptions or assume about other people, because when you're assuming about other people, you are in essence assuming about yourself 10 times fold. Mm. And with that being said, I am going to end this message. Share me, I'm gonna say. And with that being said, to thine own self, always be true. Peace, love, and life. Peace.